Hello everybody, Mr. Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online, Shadowbringers. In the last episode, we arrived at the Pixie village of Lida Luran in Ilmeg, and were able to break the Pixies' invisibility, so we could actually see them and interact with them, and ask them to lift the, spell of confusion that they had put on our party. They agreed to do so long as we helped them out with some tasks. Those tasks ended up being just a bunch of menial jobs and pranks, and it became pretty obvious that the Pixies really had no intention whatsoever of lifting the spell on us, and that they wanted to keep us around to amuse them for who knows how long. It was at that point that we remembered that we had a pact with another Pixie, Feo, so we summoned him, her, it, and had Feo basically convince the other Pixies that they needed to release the spell because Feo has a pact with us, so, otherwise, we are theirs, and nobody else can have us. So, they went ahead and released the spell. So we now know our way to Eorzea's, but the condition that it did place is that Alphino and Alice need to stay here and keep the rest of the Pixies amused while we head off. So that is what we are going to go ahead and do. And after that, I went ahead and worked on a side quest chain because it was one that I found amusing, that it had to do with the Pixies and the giant beavers. So, did that as well. Now, in between episodes, I went ahead and cleaned up the rest of the other side quests that were available here. So those are all done. I also ran some fates, so that I was able to get the bi-color gemstones I needed to unlock the riding map for this area, which allows me to ride at a higher speed than normal on the ground. Flying speed's the same no matter what. And in case you're curious, that is obtainable, because I don't think I've shown that before, at the gemstone trader in the different maps, the different areas of the expansion. So you would get the Ilmeg riding map, which is 70 bi-color gemstones. You get 12 bi-color gemstones when you complete a fate, so you kind of have to work on them a little bit to get enough to obtain the map. So in each zone, that is going to be something I'm going to be trying to do. I think I've already gotten the map for Lakeland as well, so I have that already. Alright, enough faffing around. Let's go ahead and ride out to the location where Eorzea is staying and meet him. And I'm guessing he's probably going to give us a rundown about this vision that he had of the 8th Umbral Calamity and our character's eventual death. So that should be interesting to figure out what the details about that are all going to be. And this is another zone that is enormous. The zones in this expansion are all very large, especially compared to the original Realm Reborn zones, which those things are positively tiny once you've gotten used to the size of the zones in the expansion areas. Can't fly yet, unfortunately. Won't be able to fly until we actually finish up the main storyline in this zone, so, that's just kind of how things go. Alright, here we are at Eorzea's abode. Let's go ahead and talk to Thancred. And here we are at long last. I give you Eorzea's humble abode, as I said. Come, let's see if he's home. He better be.
Urianger, are you in?
Unto a world weary of heroes, a hero wends her way. The Exarch did send word that thou wouldst seek me out, but ne'er did I imagine thou wouldst arrive so soon. Full glad am I to see thee once more, my friend, and none the worse for thy travails.
Run along, Minfilia. We will meet you outside.
But...
Another one for you to imbue, if you'd be so kind.
I take it thou hast met with our other comrades already? That Master Alphino and Mistress Alize now travel in thy company is of great comfort to me. As for the rest, it beginneth in earnest. The hunting of the Light Wardens, and perforce the war with Yulmore. Hark thee then to my words, and through them behold the vision that I did glimpse, that of the 8th Umbral Calamity. As I drifted hither to the first, traversing the boundary twixt reality and potentiality, I did bear witness to events yet to come. There I saw the combined forces of Eorzea and the Far East offering fierce resistance to the legions of Garlemald. So fierce, in fact, that they did begin to push the enemy back. Ilm by painful ilm at first, then yalm by yalm, and malm by malm in time. Yet the joy they felt was short-lived, for in so doing they did force the Empire's hand. Faced with defeat, the Garleans turned to a weapon most vile: Black Rose. Its potency defied all reckoning. Once released, the gas took on a life of its own, wreaking untold carnage not only in Eorzea, but in the provinces of the Empire besides. From fighters upon the front lines to babes in their beds, none were spared. And as the casualties became too numerous to count, so did the fabric of civilization begin to unravel. Nor did the land itself escape unscathed. For spreading from the site of its release, Black Rose brought death to the very soil. To survive amidst the chaos and upheaval, men came to live by the sword, the rule of law giving way, inevitably, to the rule of might. Thus was the spark struck and the fire kindled, and swiftly did it spread as a blaze in a field of straw to engulf every corner of the world. Nations worthy of the name did then cease to exist. And those souls brave and true who might have risen to restore order were no more. For the weapon spared not one, not even thee. An endless age of war, begotten by the blight of Black Rose. Such is the legacy of the 8th umbral calamity which I did behold. No matter the cost, we must forestall this tragedy. To that end, I have labored during my sojourn in this world, discovering in so doing the answer to a pressing mystery. That of Black Rose's inexplicable potency. Come. Dost thou recognize yonder chart?
The chart of the elements. Lightning, fire, earth, ice, water, and wind.
Indeed. 'Tis a rendering of the elemental wheel, such as one might find in classrooms across the source. As the chart maketh plain, our world is composed of 6 elements, in addition to which there exist 2 poles in fundamental opposition. Astral, the active; umbral, the passive. As a reflection of the source, the first naturally compriseth the selfsame forces. Yet, curiously, there is a notable divergence in their nomenclature. To be specific, the denizens of this world employ not the terms astral and umbral. Thus was I moved to inquire what names said forces had been assigned. A simple question which yielded a most unexpected answer. Upon demanding the name of the pole aligned with activity and growth, I was told that as life's myriad colors combine to produce black, the people of the first had called it darkness. At this, did my mind begin to race. Yet 'twas only when I asked what name had been given to the pole aligned with passivity that mine eyes were opened to the truth. Peace and tranquility being as purest white, unmarred by color, I was told it had been given the name of light.
That's umbral light and astral darkness, yes? I'm no aetherologist, but it strikes me that the nomenclature of the first is rooted in the generation of the 2 forces, while our own appears to focus on their effects. Which makes one wonder, have we had it backwards all this time?
'Tis indeed a compelling question, and one which beareth closer examination. Yet what knowledge we already possess sufficeth to explain the chain of events. The phenomenon of etheric thinning observed in the source is the consequence of light, the power of stasis, flowing in from the first to stifle the movement of ether within the land. And according to Master Alphino, Black Rose slayeth by halting the circulation of ether within living beings. Should such a weapon be unleashed even as the first were rejoined, replete as it is with light,
we would have a disaster of untold proportions on our hands. A calamity. Well, at least we have a better grasp of what we're facing. Our objective, however, remains unchanged. We are to eliminate the Light Warden of Ilmeg. Speaking of which, were you able to ascertain its whereabouts?
Aye. 'Tis all but certainly ensconced within Eorzea, the castle which standeth in the midst of the lake. To enter said stronghold, we must needs turn to the pixies for aid. Fortunately, I have become quite adept at courting their cooperation. Henceforth shall I accompany you, and do all in my power to ensure that my vision doth not come to pass.
Alright, so there's a rundown of the whole situation. And a bit of Aetherology thrown in there as well. So, the Black Rose weapon is umbral aspected. And since the light ether that is overloaded in the first is also umbral aspected, that when the first rejoins as part of the catastrophe that is caused by Black Rose, it causes Black Rose's effects to be amplified beyond all comprehension, and it destroys civilization on the entire planet of the source. So, yeah, definitely something we need to stop. It doesn't solve the problem of Black Rose completely, but will prevent a release of Black Rose from escalating to that disastrous level if we stop the first from rejoining. So, it is the first piece of the puzzle we need to resolve, essentially. Alright. So let's go ahead and talk to Eorzea here. Alright, my friend, ere I speak of the task at hand, there is a question I would pose to thee. What thinkest thou of mine appearance? Did you take up astrology? He is changed to an astrologian. Indeed. Though the night be lost, behind the shroud of blinding light, doubt not but that the stars shine still. I have chosen to avail myself of their guidance, that I might navigate the sea of uncertainty that stretcheth before us. For a blessing, my prior studies of astrology did provide me with adequate grounding in the art. But enough of myself, let us now speak of our task. As I did mention, if we are to enter Eorzea, we must needs gain the Pixies' cooperation. This is a simple matter of presenting unto them a suitable gift. I shall procure a selection of viands that shall please their palates. Thancred, pray assist me in this endeavor. Right, meanwhile, Ayame, I bid thee obtain that which will please their eyes. In these parts there abideth a vile kin known for its beauteous wings, the hawker. I shall lend thee a receptacle within which thou mayst capture a weakened specimen. Okay. Easy enough. And there does appear to be a side quest out here that provides an ether current from the exuberant pixie. Let's see what you want, because if it's something that I can do while I'm out capturing these hawkers, then let's go ahead and do it. It's like, oh, you're Eorzea's friend, aren't you? Will you not lend me a hand? You see, Eorzea's hope is drab and dull, and I've a mind to decorate it. Make it bright and beautiful. If you were to help out, it'd make it all the more special. First of all, we need some whirlweeds, a pretty little plant that grows in the water. We usually trade with a fuath for it, but seeing as you can swim, you can harvest some for us. You should be able to find the weed in the lake where there's a sunken church. While you take care of this, I'll go and pick lots and lots of beautiful flowers. Afterwards, let us meet back here for decorating. See you soon. Alright, well that isn't exactly on our way, but it's not far, so we can go ahead and take care of that. And let's go ahead and do that first. This should be fairly simple, gathering the stuff from the lake. Come on, dive. There you go. Alright, there's some whirlweed there. How we know what it's supposed to be, I don't know, but hey, we do. That must be the church that they are talking about. indicates that it's on this level somewhere. There it is. Alright, and there's another one. And there should be one more around here somewhere. Alright, it says it's... You can see the indicator if you head down, it has an arrow pointing up, which means it's at a higher elevation than this. There. And we are in the right spot, right? There it is. All right, done. Alright, so let's go ahead and let this pixie know that we got what it asked for. Alright, there you are. Did you manage to find the whirlweeds? Yes, I did. Oh, look at these lovelies. I'll enchant these at once, make it so they can grow outside the water, and then plant them here and there. Meanwhile, I want you to decorate with these snug blooms. As to where they should go, yes, the stairs. That's a dull spot that's ripe for some cheer. When you've finished, come and let me know. Alright. Well, there's the stairs. Snug bloom. There we go. Done. Alright. To heat Marvelous, this is sure to put a smile on Eorzea's scowly face. And then he'll want to stay here forever and ever and ever. You're welcome to stay too, of course. There's plenty of room for you and all your friends. No thanks. Alright. Let's go grab those hawkers. I'm actually going to not summon. There's Minfilia. Kind of got kicked out of the conversation there. I was saying I'm not going to summon my chocobo because I don't want to kill these. I just want to capture them. I don't think the chocobo would kill them faster than I could capture it, but just want to make sure. Alright, so there we go. There we go. Thou art returned. Wert thou able to capture a hawker? Indeed it was. Ah, truly magnificent set of wings. I shall treat them at once to make fast their vibrant colors. Thancred too should return anon, upon which I shall ready all the items for presentation. Pray take thine ease meanwhile.
"'Tis done. The pixies shall be well pleased with these gifts. Ah, lest I forget. White Auracite, newly forged for thy use. Our mission being to thwart a rejoining, we will most assuredly cross paths with those who crave the contrary, our eternal enemies. Thus did I choose to abide in this ether-rich land, the better to fashion a trap for the Ascian's essence.
May I come in now?
You may indeed, assuming you've finished.
I did as you asked.
That's my girl, thank you. I should probably explain. Though my body remained behind in the source, its limitations saw fit to accompany me. Which is to say, I cannot manipulate ether. I took up the gunblade for its defensive advantages, but on account of my little impairment, I cannot imbue the ammunition myself. Luckily for me, Minfilia has quite a talent for it.
Minfilia, once we set forth, we are not like to return for some while. If thou wouldst choose tomes to take with thee, let it be now.
Really? May I?
Of course, my dear. Yet have care thou dost not add overmuch to thy burden, lest I incur Thancred's ire. Hast thou spoken to her of thine encounter with the Minfilia of Eld?
Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any. As you know, I freed young Minfilia from captivity in Yulmore some 3 years past. Not long after, the two of us journeyed to the south of Armareng, to the edge of the Empty, where the flood was halted. It was there that she awakened. The Minfilia of old. My Minfilia.
Tell me, what must I do to bring you back?
My dearest Thancred, as I am now, I am no different from an Ascian. This child is but a vessel. One of many I have used that I might spread word of her enduring blessing and preserve the flame of hope. In my name, each has died, never having lived her own life. I have taken enough from these children. I will take no more.
But But what of your suffering? Your sacrifice? This isn't fair! I will not stand for it. I cannot! There must be something we can do. Tell me!
Should the day come when this child grows weary of fighting and wishes to cast it all aside, then shall I take up her burden. But should she wish instead to become the master of her own destiny, then shall I bequeath to her my all. Imbued with the strength that I reserve for rebirth, she may come to wield my powers as her own.
And what of my wishes? What of Flamine's? What of all the people who love and care for you and want nothing more than to see you again?
It is not their decision to make. It is hers. This child's. This Minfilia's. You have ever watched over me, Thancred. Now I ask that you do the same for her. Protect her. Teach her. Stand by her as you stood by me. There is much and more she does not know. She needs a guide to show her the ways of the world, or she will never find her own path. When the time comes, you will find me here. Until that day.
Minfilia, wait!
What happened?
And then she was gone. Minfilia, the girl, claims to have no recollection of any of it. I have told her many things. Where we came from, what we fight for. But of that day, I have not spoken.
Well, how do you want this to end?
With the coming of another possessed of the blessing of light, the first hath begun to rise up in defiance of its fate. The question remaineth, however, who shall take up the flame of hope which Minfilia hath borne for so long? Whether we will it or no, the choice must soon be made.
I'm sorry I took so long. It was so hard to choose. In the end, I settled on just the one.
That is well. Now, if all is in order, let us set forth for Lida Loran.
Alright, so we got the kind of breakdown on Thancred's confusion and issues that he's having, especially with the young lady currently in his care, because of what she represents. Or what could possibly become, either way. So he's not sure what to think or feel at the moment. Which is somewhat understandable. Alright, so we are back to Lita Laron to give the pixies these gifts and hopefully have them tell us what we need to do to get into that castle right there so that we can get the Light Warden and destroy it. Alright, but I think we're at the end of the episode, so we will reserve that for when we come back. So, for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.